Again, this is from, okay, now let's go even younger. Let's go 0 to 6. This is about communication. I'm giving you examples of things which do not communicate a clear message. The teacher is teaching something in a preschool and she tells the child, sit properly. This is a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old that you're talking about. 4-year-old maybe, 5-year-old maybe. So we've actually jumped a year, not one younger. And the teacher says sit properly and doesn't qualify what properly means. And this child maybe changes their position, trying to understand, read between the lines as to what is it that this person is trying to tell me. You know what I mean? So when it comes to raising children, communication, connection, clarity are very important to lay the foundations, right? Children about 10 to 12 years of age, sometimes, not sometimes, many times I've had parents sitting in front of me and saying that this child is abusive. Gali seekh liye hai. And from, I don't know from where they are learning it. The first thing I always tell the parents who come to me with this problem is, put a mirror in front of you and in front of all the family members. Does anybody in the house use language like that? हाँ वो उसके पापा कभी कभी बोल देते हैं, हाँ वो उसके दादा बोल देते हैं, the grandmother or the mother, so there will be somebody in the house who's using it and none of the other family members object to it. Because this is a person in power, is one of the main, members of the family, and person against whom people cannot speak up. So the message the child gets, it's okay to do it. The child is not old enough to understand the dynamics. Why is this person, it's okay for this person to do it and why it's not okay for me to do it. But the message the child gets is, it's okay to do this and use these words. So all the foundations of adult life are laid, Rashmi, in childhood. Whether it is language, whether it is to do with empathy, whether it is to do with resilience. Is a parent sees, a child sees a mother, breaking down, or a fight happening, or somebody taking an extreme step, or something extreme happening, maybe a suicide happening, or somebody hurting themselves, or just leaving the house, or a milder step like not talking to the family. Why? Because somebody scolded them. So they learn those behavior patterns. That to deal with your mental condition, stop talking to others. And we see that in adult life. I'm sure you can think of some examples from your family and friends. Nahi, agar acha nahi hai, I'm not feeling okay, somebody's done something bad to me, I will, clam up. Or I will start shouting. You see meltdowns happening in adult life also. We only talk of temper tantrums in childhood, but I'll see a lot of adults throwing temper tantrums around me.
But that a part of the reality of relationships as they grow older is when people do vent emotions. So you can't safeguard a child from these kind of emotional outbursts because this is reality. So therefore the child gets to see a spice of what life can be. Or should we make it like completely child-proof, in front of the child not have any outbursts, and only when the child is not around do it? So what kind of parenting would you suggest? Has parenting changed over the years, Sunita, that today's generation, like another question that comes along with it is the previous generation had 8 kids, 6 kids, 4 kids in the family. Today it's just one kid. And the kid is really entitled. The kid points out to something and that thing is given to the child. So
Yeah, I think you've answered your own question. And it's also something which I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation is that let the child be.
yeah,
If you ask the mother now, there'd be grandmothers of those 12 children, that how did you raise these children? I'm sure I've asked that question to many grandmothers and great grandmothers, and more often than not, the response I've always got is, "हमने तो ये सब नहीं किया जो तुम कर रहे हो."
हाँ,
We never did this.
Yeah.
बच्चे तो हो गए अपने आप बड़े. So they let them be. Children are very creative. They are very resilient. They are natural learners. Because we have one now, so we feel that this child will not be able to do it without our help. The child needs your help. They need your love. They need your attachment. They need your support. They need your guidance, but up to a certain point. What we are doing nowadays is trying to manage, manipulate, guide, and control. Control, I'm saying with big capital letters, every moment of the child's waking life. Which is why things are going wrong. You won't believe, Rashmi, there are multiple cases that come to me where parents put their children in tuitions, mind you, no less, in preschool. Yes. So what is it that the tuition teacher is teaching them? A, B, what? Tie your shoelaces? What? What is it going on? What is going on there? There are, the child comes back at 2, takes a snack, and from 3 to 7, again, the child is in a space where some adult is guiding them. Classes, hai, coding classes, hai, and dance class, hai. Where is the space for the child to develop naturally, to be creative? They are going through what we call a beautiful period in their life, a formative period in their life called childhood. But are we letting them be children?